Hi everyone, welcome back to Sunset Valley. So today we're doing the Alvi house, and this house is kind of an interesting case because they're kind of like the Brandi Brokes of Sunset Valley. You know, single parent with like 2 kids living in a trailer kind of thing. Come to think of it, this trailer is actually quite big, so you can see the first thing I'm doing is that little Simsy style thing where she just cuts off part of the house. Just helps it make it a little bit more smaller and realistic, and I'm doing some details now that I'm just gonna say probably do not make it to the end of the build. I don't actually really remember. I built this house a few days ago. Classic as to my usual style, I'll do like several builds, then I'll do several speed build voiceovers, then I'll do several videos, and then you'll get them kind of all back to back. So yeah, I kind of did what I normally do with Brandi Broke's house, which is kind of just make it look a little bit more like a trailer. This house was a little bit too complicated, and Brandi Broke's trailer is a little bit too simple. So just adding a few trailer details can really help out, and you can see what I'm doing now is changing the foundation. Now the reason I like to do this on certain builds is just because it helps it make it look a little bit more realistic. So when The Sims 3 first came out, like they didn't really have this stilted foundation thing, so they would just kind of fake it with like square foundation pieces underneath the build. But since this update happened, I don't know what expansion pack or what patch it came with, but now there's like these stilted foundations, so I like to add those into certain builds, specifically kind of like bargey houseboaty builds that aren't houseboats, as well as trailers. It works really well for trailers. It just makes it look like they plopped it right on the land there, so it's working out pretty good. And I also like to do a basic siding. Basic siding really helps it just kind of look a little bit less like a house and a little bit more like a trailer. I know you can use that siding in houses too, but if you combine it with like the other trailer aesthetics, I just think it all kind of works out. And with Brandi Broke's trailer, hers is in a very nice pink. So I thought, let's just do a pale blue for the boys here. And you know what? I know it's a little bit heteronormative and like gender conforming or whatever, but I don't use a lot of blue, and we kind of needed a blue house anyway, and I thought it just worked out, and I just wanted it to be cohesive with the Sims 2 idea. So one detail that I really liked in this house when I reviewed it during Sunset Valley was this fence here. It's kind of like broken apart, and it's got this weird gate that doesn't really match it or anything. So I thought, you know what? Let's take it one step further. So I started adding these chain link fence pieces, and I just kind of made it look like there was like a clump of them at the back and that they weren't fully set up yet. So maybe it's like a work in progress too. Like they got all the stuff for the renovation. They want to do like the new backyard, but they didn't quite get it together. And then over time, the stuff just kind of sat there, and it's going to stay there forever. I also added in a few of the Midnight Hollow plants to make like the dead plants in the front yard. So I figured if you don't own Midnight Hollow, then those will be blank. You can just put whatever plants there that you want. But if you do have Midnight Hollow, then it's going to look a little bit more grungy. Yeah. So speaking of grungy, looking at this fenced area with the swing set in it, it just looks a little too grungy. Not too grungy to fix it, but anyway, yeah. So I'm pretty much done the outside of the build now. Like you'll see like on the top, I just made like the roof a little bit more normal, a little bit more trailery too. Cause normally with like a trailer, you just have like a regular gabled roof or a hipped roof, but I wanted to add like a few little things sticking out of the side. Cause not all trailers are flat. Like some trailers have those like nice bump out windows and like those little areas that can actually like extend a bit. I think you're only supposed to extend them when the trailer isn't moving, but this house is going to be stuck here forever. So there we go. And yeah, moving on inside, we can see there's a few style choices that I wouldn't really like, and in fact I got rid of, but some of them I actually kept. So you can see here there's like the camo furniture, so the camo couch and the camo chairs and everything. So I actually added in the camo. So the chairs were not camo, I made them camo. Of course, there's a few weird choices in this house. Like you can see I just deleted this purple kitchen. I'm like, why would you use a purple kitchen in this? I understand it's supposed to be like a trailer and like secondhand stuff that doesn't go together, but at the end of the day, cheap doesn't mean purple. Like I think to get purple counters, you'd have to spend extra money. It wouldn't be less money. So as you can see here, I'm trying to figure out a nice normal kitchen counter. I end up using the cheapest ones. So the thing is like for these renovations, like I don't really keep to a budget, but I want to keep it within the realm of The Sims. So like for this family, they have a little bit less money. They live in a trailer. They're cramped into these small bedrooms. So they don't use the expensive counters. They don't use the expensive fridge. So I always use like the less expensive stuff. Oh no, I just remembered I gave like the one kid like the small bedroom. It's like 2 tiles wide. I figured it's supposed to be like a laundry closet. So I ended up putting some laundry in there a little bit later. So it's like, here's like the laundry room, but we're just gonna put a bed in it because we have an extra kid. But you know what? It's very Brandi Broke style. Because if you remember that house from The Sims 2 anyway, like you have like the crib in the hallway, you have Dustin with his own little cramped bedroom, and she's pregnant. So like when you end up having 3 boys in that house, you have to end up like getting creative with how you fit them. Sometimes I make the bedroom for 2 boys. Sometimes I like slice it up into small bedrooms. And sometimes I just put all the beds in the hallway. But I didn't do that for this one. I actually cleaned it up a little bit. I added a few clutter things, like a few Kleenex boxes, because you know, teenage boys and up, I just had to. And just kind of took away a few of the questionable choices. Like I noticed like, okay, like for like an adult man, Iqbal Alvi does not need a bright purple bar, and he doesn't need zebra print bed sheets. It's a little too Dina Caliente, but with even less style, which is not really for me. Oh God, and there's this like Dalmatian slash cow like living chair. I think I kept that too. I just thought, you know what, anything that's not really my style, if I think it might suit The Sims, then I'll keep it. And now that we're getting closer to to the end of the build, I can see that I've added in some colors. I'm fixing up the bathroom and stuff, so it's still like a small, cheap, cramped trailer home, but it's not fully in disrepair. I like to picture the Alvis as trying to get their stuff together, but never end up getting it together. And in fact, like, I cannot stand VJ or Iqbal. They're always annoying in my game. I never play this family, but I do end up getting Mirage married sometimes. I don't want to get into the gameplay or stuff though, because we're almost out of time. So yeah, like looking at this bathroom, I just decided to use like choices that I would not normally use. Look at this wood floor, look at the kitchen tile, look at the bathroom tile. These are not things that I would normally go for, but it does give off that cheap vibe. So I really enjoyed it. And Kyle just bursted in my door. Do you see that? Like the door was open and everything. I had that thing locked, I thought. But he's very clever and very able to get into my room whenever he wants. So there we go. Oh my God, I remember struggling with this dresser. I was like, it's like a one tile dresser. So I thought, oh, this will be easy to fit in, but it's still two tiles. It's kind of like the toy box where you have to have an extra tile to go in front of it. So I couldn't find the right place for it. And I don't like using move objects in the official EA renovations. I know EA actually uses some of the cheats, but I try not to use a cheat unless I absolutely have to. Like if I need to have an attached garage, then I will use the constrained floor elevation, but that's about it. Oh God, looking at like the decorations and stuff now, I totally remember. So like I put these like dueling swords on the wall. I put flamingos in the living room because the outside kind of has appliances and stuff that look like they just kind of picked them up off the street. So I was trying to go for the same vibe on the inside, but not overdo it. Like they're not picking up actual garbage. They're just picking up useless objects that you're not going to find any use for. Oh God, that was an awkward sentence. Okay, so I think I'm getting close to the end of the build now because there's not much terrain paint to do with a house like this. So why don't we just jump into first person and I'll give you the grand tour of the trailer. See you there. And welcome to our renovation of Flava Flul. I actually really like how messy it looks from first person. It really stands out. Now you may notice a few changes. After I filmed this, apparently I didn't save the game when I closed it, but I still had the footage, so I was able to like copy it from what I had already filmed, so it's pretty much the same. But if you see a little difference here and there, especially with color, then I just did my best. But yeah, looking around, unfortunately, if you pick this starter home, which was the first house I renovated in Sunset Valley, you're gonna be next to this yard. It's got all the fences everywhere. You got the swing set in the middle. Honestly, it doesn't even seem that safe. Okay, let's scooch past Dethany and go in the front door. But yeah, as we step in through the front door, we can see our camo living room furniture set, which I just decided to go with. I kept the floor plan almost the same. I just wanted to make it a little bit more on theme. Like if it is a trailer, you're gonna have like cheaper details and stuff. So I kind of found these lights. They're from the Sims 3 store, but they just looked like the most appropriate ones to use. I think they come with like some sort of laundry set or something, but I didn't want to use any of the base game lights because they seemed a little bit too fancy. The Sims 4 has that problem too, where like everything that's base game is like super detailed. But yeah, going into the kitchen, I kind of stuck with green, and for the appliances, I changed them to this kind of brownish color. My granny had appliances like this, like the washer, dryer, stove, and fridge all had this palette. And I thought in a trailer, why not use older appliances? So that worked out pretty good. So yeah, let's just go into the laundry room slash youngest child's room. My goodness. I gave Mirage a tablet just because I thought, you know what, like a younger kid would probably want a tablet to watch. And he's kind of like the only member of the family who has anything going for him. So I thought maybe he'll get some skills too. But yeah, he has to sleep with the washer and dryer, so that's not very nice. And I didn't put laundry baskets in this build on purpose because I kind of want the clothes to go all over the house. So you can put one in if you want. But going into VJ's bedroom, so I kept his same bedspread as well. I just kept the bedspreads the same. I thought each bedspread suited each sim, so I just kept them. We have a cow chair, which I found somewhere, so I just kind of put it in this room. And I put a bunch of the sports balls too. And I gave him like the cheapest computer too, because I thought if anyone's gonna have a computer, it better be the teenager. The bathroom I actually made a little bit smaller. They had a big bathroom, and I thought, for a trailer, I want something smaller. It's still pretty big though. I was gonna put more stuff in here, but like I didn't think a plant was appropriate. I didn't think an end table. Like a single dad in a trailer with a teenage son, like I just don't see it. So I just copied the counter and stuff from the kitchen. I'm trying to drag this on a bit because it's such a small build, but we really only have one room left, so let's check it out. So what I did in here, okay, let me explain myself. I changed the bedpost to gold, but I didn't change anything else. He had this bedspread, he had these sheets. I don't think he had the Kleenex box though, but the one thing he did have was this purple bar, and it has the leopard print stools, and like I used to make fun of this tacky style, especially when I did Twinbrook. And I thought, you know what, it's pretty appropriate. And it looks like he found it on the side of the road, which is exactly the theme of the build, because if we go outside to this little garage thing, they have all this mixed matched furniture lying around, old appliances sitting outside. So kind of like junk collectors, kind of like hoarders, right? So you know what, like having some weird things bopping around kind of makes sense. And it's not every day you get to have a purple bar in your bedroom. Coming into my final shot, I'm really pleased with the result because like a lot of Sunset Valley had a weird, ugly style that I didn't like. And as I've been renovating, I've been making things look a little bit too nice and a little bit too perfect in places. And in real life, not everywhere is perfect. Not even a homeowners association can save some places. So it's nice to have something a little bit more rough around the edges. It reminds me of Brandi Broke, basically the same storyline anyway. And I think it just adds a little bit of character too. And in fact, I may renovate a few more builds to be a little bit more rough. But yeah, what did you guys think? Have you ever done like a trailer build before? I do them every like once in a while. And although I don't have an affluent background, I really am not experienced with real life trailers. In Canada, trailers are more for camping. You can't really live in them because it's too cold here. And honestly, all of my experience with trailers deals with old people in Florida. Honestly, that's probably why I put flamingos all over the place. But yeah, that pretty much does it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe for some more Sims content. Honestly, it was nice to do something a little bit smaller for once. A lot of the Sunset Valley houses are pretty big. Even the like 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom ones can end up looking like mansions, and they can get a little bit hard to style, but at least with something like this, you can pay more attention to detail. And I do like how it's next to this like little pretty starter home too, because if you do make yourself like a typical girly sim, you're gonna want to move into this one, and then you're gonna have them as neighbors, so you might have to like explore a little bit to make friends. I'm being mean. I don't hate the Alvis, but like what I usually do is get Mirage out of the family. And if I don't make Holly also a lesbian, I sometimes pair her with him. Then he can go off and be rich, and then his family can stay here. Don't read too much into that, but yeah, Dethany is not feeling the trailer park vibe, so I'm probably gonna have to get her out of here. We'll see you in the next one. Boom.